Mr. President, Pakistan has acquiesced to the collective wisdom of our brothers in the Arab world and voted in favor of their resolution. But we share the concerns of the international community on the situation. Continued violence and bloodshed cannot be condoned. We strongly condemn the use of force against peaceful protesters and the human rights violations committed by all sides. We feel that all efforts have to be geared towards breaking the spiral of violence in Syria and to enable the legitimate aspirations of the people to be heard and challenged for peace, prosperity, and stability of the country. Haste often leads towards waste and is historically contrary to principles of tried and tested diplomacy. There is a general consensus amongst the international community on two of the main objectives: immediate end to violence and killing, and a peaceful resolution of the situation, but through an inclusive political process. There were some differences, however, on how to operationalize these objectives. Pakistan has been stressing on the importance of consensus approach on the issue, including in the Security Council, for only a unified message could help promote our common objectives. We feel that we were very close to arriving on such a common ground in the Council. There could have been more efforts to bridge the gaps through accommodation of proposed amendments by Russia and China, and for the sake of world peace, achieve greater consensus in the Assembly. Our position in the Security Council was based on principles of non-interference in the internal affairs of states and non-use of foreign military intervention. Even today we stand by these principles. We call on both sides to shun violence, pursue the path of dialogue and reconciliation, and engage in result-oriented and an inclusive political process leading to a peaceful resolution of the problem. We have always urged that any discussion on Syria at the UN should be with full cognizance of and the respect for the principles of independence, sovereignty, unity, and the territorial integrity of Syria. We continue to believe that the objectives of peace and security can best be served by pursuing a cooperative approach with the country. We therefore reiterate our earlier calls to respect the will of the Syrian people and for a Syrian-led solution to the ongoing unrest. Mr. President, all remonstrances aside, there is growing apprehension and anxiety in the Islamic world as another Muslim country faces ingress at the hands of the United Nations. We must not allow this to become a belief. This growing trend must cease. Let me conclude by committing our continued support to the collective efforts of the League of Arab States aimed at ending violence and promoting a peaceful resolution of the problem through dialogue and engagement. I thank you, Mr. President.